Hello, hello. Good evening. Are you able to hear me? Okay, good. Uh, okay. So, in our last class, we were discussing about testing definition, right? So, testing, how you can define it as executing the program with the intent of finding the errors is nothing but testing. But really, you have to define means verification plus validation. Verification is nothing but prevent. Validation is nothing but detect. So prevent means before occurring the error, you will be taking precautions. So that is nothing but like prevent. So once error occurred, so what you will be doing? You'll be taking, you'll be finding out and resolve. So that is nothing but like detect. So, how really you will take precautions before producing the error? That is what you have to understand. Means you should be aware of software development life cycle, right? So, what do you mean by software development life cycle? In your IT industry, whatever the project it is, whatever the application it is, you have to develop means you should follow some process, some stages. So that stages what you will consider it as like software development life cycle. Which are the different phases you will come across? What are the different phases? Do you remember? Exactly. Okay. Uh, yeah. So during analysis phase, uh, business analysts gets involved and they will be coming up with two types of documents. Those are nothing but BRS and SRS. So during design phase, analysts gets involved and they will be coming up with two types of architectural design documents. Those are nothing but high level design and low level design. Then development. So during development phase, developers gets involved and how they develop the entire application is like uh, main application they will divide it into modules into submodules, like that they divide. So each and every module they themselves allocate and they will be developing the application. So there in middle what they do is like they will be releasing small portions of the application to the testing team for testing purpose. Okay, so that is nothing but like development, then testing. Then once whole of your application gets ready, you'll be releasing it to the customer. This is nothing but like your software development life cycle. Right? So everything we were discussed in our last class. So before going further, any questions? Anybody by the time? No questions? Okay. So one important thing here I have to discuss. Yeah. Tell me. Yeah, I'm. Yeah, right. I provide. So what do you do? What you do is like you just share me your Gmail email IDs. I will share you the videos. I'm sorry about that. Okay, I forgot it. So you just send out a test mail or you share me your Gmail accounts. I will share my videos. So what you do is like you just log in using your Gmail credentials into your YouTube account and try accessing my videos. You will be able to access. Okay, it's very yeah. Yeah, sure. Just give me some time. I will share. I will grant you access. Okay. Not here in GoToMeeting. You just send me Gmail. Okay. Here it will get removed after some time. Okay. You just send me in Gmail. I will share. Okay. Okay. So any more questions? Okay. Okay. So then, if you remember, sometimes I'm talking about like application, sometimes I'm talking about like project and product even sometimes. What's exactly the difference between these three? Any idea? Any idea? Anybody? Application, project, and a product. What is the difference between these three? In our IT industry, in your computers, whatever you see, like calculator, Word, Excel, ATM, anything, you can consider it as an application. Okay? So applications are two types. Those are nothing but project and product. Okay, project and product. So project means the idea is very simple. Client will come to you and he will give his requirements. According to his requirements, you will develop and deliver it to client. So that is nothing but project. Like Verizon, let us assume. So he will come to you and what are his business requirement, he will give it to you. You will develop according to their requirements and deliver. So that is nothing but like project. Okay, but what do you mean by product? So to meet market requirements, companies will be coming up with some solutions. Laptops, market requirement, right? Mobile phones, market requirement. Okay, like flyovers or bridges, market requirement. Okay, exactly like that. Operating system, Windows XP, Windows Vista, Windows 7. Yeah, purchasing a computer without operating system, will you be able to do anything? Cannot do anything, right? So that is market requirement. You have one movie, you have to watch that movie. What require? Movie player require, right? So movie player also market require. Like that, if you think Office, MS Office, okay, like Windows, C plus plus, everything is nothing but like product. Okay. So project means client specific. So he will give to you, and according to his requirements, you will develop and give it back to them. That means like 1 year or 2 years or 3 years. But product means it will be with company lifelong. How many days that company is there? Gmail, that is product of Google, right? Okay. So how many days Google company is there? Those many days. This product should be with that. Okay. So clear. So why I come up with that entire software development lifecycle is nothing but like to understand the difference between like verification and validation. Okay, so how exactly you will be taking precautions before producing the error? If you think about it, like again we'll take one application. So that application, let us assume it's having 4 modules. Okay, so let us assume analysis done, design done, development also completed. You got that application for testing. As a tester, as soon as you get application, what you will be doing is like you will be uh, testing that application. As a tester, what is your responsibility is like you have to find as many bugs as possible, as many errors as possible, and report it to development team. That is what your primary role. So at the time what you got it, like as soon as you get application from development, you found some C module got missed out, let us assume. So C module got missed out means what you have to do? as a tester, you have to report it to development team. So whenever you report primarily whom it will go for? Developers only. Remember one thing, in any of the application you are working for, any of the functionalities you are perform or whatever the issue it is you come across means primarily it will go for development team only. Okay, so initially it will go for development, but developers, they have to come up with their development activities means which documents they will refer, which documents they refer. I told right last class. Forgot? Exactly. Normally, the thing is like whatever the team it is, while working with testers or developers or whoever it is, they get an ample questions means they can go for analysis documents like SRS documents. But at this time, along with those documents, they will refer architectural documents like high level design and low level design. So whatever the architectural documents developers received from architects, there itself C module is not there. There itself C module is not there, let us assume. Okay, then what is the mistake? Where it went wrong? That one they missed, like architects missed out, right? So the exactly. So blames went to architects. Again, architects by referring which documents they'll come up with their architectural documents. SRS. Again, SRS from where you will come up with BRS. Actually, what happened is like while gathering requirements from client and documenting, somehow they missed the SRS document. Somehow they missed C module. Now my question here is like for getting requirements from client and developing BRS, how much time it will take? 3 to 6 months or 1 year also. Depends on the complexity of the application. Okay. So again for developing SRS 3 to 6 months. Again development how much, design how much time it will take? 6 months to 1 year. Development 2 years. So 3 years or 4 years of time you spend for developing that application. Now you for C module missed out. C module missed out means one module, complete module is missed out means is a critical issue, right? What you have to do? Again, you have to change entire architecture of the application, entire design of the application. Okay, so that's what you have to do. Again, you have to come up with BRS. Again, you have to come up with SRS. Again, you have to come up with design. Again, you have to develop entire application. That means what is wrong here? What is the thing here? So for this 3 years of time, company could have eaten so many resources. Entire stuff is going to waste. Okay, is waste, right? So again you have to come up with analysis. Again you have to come up with design. Again you have to come up with development. Instead of following this approach, what you could have done? As soon as BRS document gets ready, there itself, if you test something went wrong, immediately you can correct it up, right? Okay, so that is nothing but like that is how you are preventing dropping the bugs to later stages. That means like wherever error is occurring, there itself you are trying to finding out and resolve. So that's how you are verifying. Okay, that is nothing but like verification. Okay, so normally the thing is like as soon as you get requirements from client, so you will be validating what are the requirements you gathered, all are correct or not, all are complete or not. Okay, so what are the requirements you gather, all those requirements whether you will be able to develop or not. Let us suppose for developing latest technology required, but you don't have that latest technology. So today you commit, tomorrow you are unable to deliver, you will get a very bad impression, right? Okay. So while making agreement, there is a, you have to consider all these factors and have to make fair, right? So, and what are the budget client is going to invest, what is the time he is going to give, within that budget and time, whether you will be able to develop that application or not. All these points you will review, then only you make further step. Exactly like that, as soon as design document gets ready, like high level design and low level design, then what you will be doing is like those documents, those architecture, whatever you come up with, it's complete or not, correct or not, perfect or not. By considering those factors, their result will be validated. Then development. Okay. So that is how before producing the error itself, you are taking precautions. So that is nothing but like verification plus validation. Okay. So verification, quality assurance, both are nothing but synonyms. Validation, quality control, both are nothing but synonyms. Okay. Here, so far any questions? Anybody? No questions? Okay. So here, I am saying that means like very good interview question you will come across. So where your testing starts, at which phase of your software development lifecycle testing starts, testing phase or analysis phase. Exactly. Okay. So testing starts at analysis phase itself. But you have to start real application means once developers come up with code, deliver it to you, then only you'll get application, right? Then you can test what are the application you receive. So you'll be functioning, you'll be clicking or entering data and you validate it. But here you are saying like in analysis phase itself, you are starting testing. What you are exactly testing here? My point here is like you have to get build means during development phase you have to wait, but here I'm saying during analysis phase itself you will start testing. What exactly you are testing, how you will be testing without application? If you think like that, here really you won't be testing application, you will be testing the documents like BRS, SRS, architectural design documents. How you will come up with? In the form of like documents, right? Like Word or PowerPoint presentations or something like that. Like that you will come up with. So those documents you are validating here. That is the reason this verification process also you can consider it as like static testing. Documents you don't want to execute, right? So what are the requirements you were documented, those documents you will be rechecking. That's why analysis design development phase, analysis phase, design phase, what are the kind of testing you are carrying, that one you will consider it as like static testing. But once developers develop application, send it to you means after that you will be performing actions in your application and testing. So that's the reason you will consider it like dynamic testing. Okay. So validation, quality control, dynamic testing are nothing but synonyms. Verification, quality assurance and static testing are nothing but synonyms. Okay. Any questions? So this is nothing but like your testing. So now how you can define it like verification? Okay. So testing is nothing but like verification plus validation. So verification, how you can define it like uh, preventing dropping of bugs to later stages of your software development lifecycle is nothing but verification. Means verification. Okay, before that, another question. As a tester, we come under verification or validation? No, we will come under validation. Okay, not verification. You will get to know like who will be involving in verification in our next session. Okay, in our next session you will get to know who will be involving in verification process. Okay, so verification process is nothing but like during analysis phase and design phase, what are the type of testing we will carry out, that is nothing but like verification. Okay, so verification will prevent dropping the bus to later stages. Also you can define it as like whatever the testing process going on before the testing phase starts in your software development lifecycle is nothing but verification. Also you can consider like early phases testing of your software development lifecycle is nothing but verification. Early phases testing in your software development lifecycle is nothing but verification. Okay, then validation, later stages finding out bugs is nothing but like validation, or what are the testing process going on once testing phase starts in your software development lifecycle is nothing but validation. Okay, so then quality assurance is nothing but verification, right? Quality control is nothing but validation. Static testing, dynamic testing, development lifecycle. Software development lifecycle we covered, right? Analysis, design, development, testing, release, and maintenance. So then uh, the thing is like once analysis phase finish, then development comes into picture. Sorry, design. Once design finish, then development comes into picture. Once development finish, then testing comes into picture. That means like whole application gets ready, then you will be getting application for testing. So what is the wrong here? If something went wrong, what will be doing? Again you have to come up with analysis, again you have to come up with design, again you have to come up with development. This is the model what we will consider it as like waterfall model. This is the model you will consider it as like waterfall model. Okay, so what is waterfall model? I'll be telling you our next topic is. So as of now, testing will be happening only in testing phase. As of now, you remember, testing will be happening only in testing phase. Okay, so then I'll be telling you like how exactly explain during waterfall model. Then V model means as soon as SRS document gets ready, there itself you are testing. As soon as BRS document gets ready, there itself you are testing. That is nothing but V model. That means both development and testing activities will be going on parallelly. Okay, so uh, verification V model is nothing but like development and testing activities will be going on parallel. That is nothing but verification. Sorry, V model. I'll be explaining you in detail like what is the difference between verification V model and waterfall model. So as of now you remember this is the stuff. Then differences between verification and validation, differences between quality assurance and quality control, differences between static testing and dynamic testing, differences between waterfall model and V model, and another important question. So that is nothing but software quality assurance. Software quality assurance is nothing but uh, monitoring and measuring in each and every phase of your software development lifecycle is nothing but software quality assurance. Okay, monitoring and measuring in each and every phase means what you are doing. As soon as analysis gets done, you are monitoring whether all requirements are proper or not, all are complete or not, all are correct or not. As soon as design document gets ready, you are validating. That is nothing but like verification and validation, right? So software quality assurance also you can explain the same story. That is nothing but like verification plus validation. So this simple thing you understand means you will be able to answer more than 15 questions. So you don't want to come up with this much detail, very high level. Whatever the question it is, like start up from prevent, okay, and very high level you come up with, okay, and explain. This is a pretty good example. Even if you explain this is the stuff, you will get very good impression. And another thing is like what is testing? Mostly you will say like verification plus validate. You will say like executing the application with the intent of finding the errors. You never say that definition. You remove that definition from your mind. Okay. So what you have to say? Testing means verification plus validation. What is verification? What is validation? That is what you have to explain. Okay. Any questions? No questions? Okay. Good. Okay. No questions. Okay. So this is nothing but like your testing definition. Whatever we left yesterday. So that is what here I have covered. Uh, then we go for like software development lifecycle models. During our testing definition, I told like what is software development lifecycle. So we'll come up with like 5 different phases. Those are nothing but uh, analysis, design, development, testing, release, and maintenance. So whatever we discuss in that portion, that one what you can consider it as like software development lifecycle or standard development lifecycle. Also, you can consider it as like waterfall model. Okay, so that model I will explain you once again. So that is nothing but like you can consider it as like waterfall model. Like that, so many life cycle models you will come across in your IT industry. Those are nothing but like waterfall model, V model, agile methodology, fishbone model. Okay, so then spiral model, rapid application development model, agile methodology, process experts tool, and prototyping model. These are the different models you will come across. The first model is like waterfall model. Most famous model is like V model, but nowadays most of the clients preferring to go for like agile methodology. Okay, so in all these models, very important models are nothing but like waterfall model, V model, and agile methodology. Okay, so remaining models like spiral model, rapid application development model, prototyping model, not at all important. During starting days of your IT industry, people were implementing. Nowadays nobody is going for. So what I do is like important models I will be discussing right now, like waterfall model and V model I will discuss. Then remaining models, whatever I have, like even agile methodology also I will explain at the end of our manual testing. Why means by the time you will get some idea about like how our testing industry works. Okay, so at the time if I explain like what agile methodology, you'll be able to understand correctly very easily. Okay, so that's the reason I will explain like agile methodology and all other models at the end of our manual testing. So right now I will be explaining you waterfall model and V model. Okay, waterfall model. My primary question is even in your studies time, software engineering one paper you will come across. There you will be able to see waterfall model exactly like this. My primary question is why I am not putting down. Okay, why I am putting like this one by one. The reason behind this is like in waterfall model you are aware of, right? You are aware of, right? What? So once analysis finish, then design comes into picture. Once design finish, then development comes into picture. Development done, then testing starts. Right? That means once one phase finished, then only next phase comes into the picture. That means whatever the phase going on, only those team members gets present. Other team members don't get present. That is the reason I put analysis design. This is the way. Okay. Once analysis finish, then design comes into picture. Design finish, then design development, like that. That is the reason I put like this. So how it looks like, how exactly water falls. So that is the reason you are considering it as like waterfall model. Okay, how it looks like, how water falls, right? So that's why you are considering it as like waterfall model. In your IT industry, how many models are available? Each and every model you will come across directly or indirectly these 5 phases. Okay, every model, how many models we discussed? We talked V model, agile methodology, spiral model, prototyping model, PET, and fishbone model. Every model we come across all these five, but customized way. Okay, customized way. So that is the reason this model also you can consider it like parent model or base model. All the other models born from this model only. That is the reason this model you can consider it like parent model. Okay, so I believe like I don't want to go for like step by step, right? Analysis, design, development, testing, release, and maintenance. I already discussed very in detail. Clear? Do I have to come up with step by step again? Okay, so this is very high level about like your waterfall model. In waterfall model, as I said, whatever the phase is going on, only those team members gets present. That is the reason company have to pay salaries to less number of resources, right? Okay, so that is the advantage of like your waterfall model. So this is cheap model for the companies to follow. Another important strength of your waterfall model is like before starting up the project, you should be having 100% clear requirements. Okay, so before starting analysis phase, once one phase finishes, then next phase starts. Analysis finished, then design have to start up. Means you should gather all the requirements. Then only you can go for design phase. You come up with entire design of the application. Then only you go for development. What does it mean? So before starting up the project, before starting up one phase, earlier phase should get finished. That means like before starting up the analysis phase, you should have 100% clear requirements. Then only you go for waterfall model. Otherwise, you cannot go for it. Right? So before starting up the project, you have 100% clear requirements. Stable requirements, that's true. Then that is very easy to follow, right? For anybody, it's very easy. You developed some functionality. By the time you got change request from client, then what you have to do? Again, you have to put your efforts for changing the existing code or existing functionality. But at this situation, that is not the case, right? So that is the advantage of like your waterfall. Okay, and yeah, requirements are stable, will never get vary. So it's very easy to follow, right? It's very easy to follow. Even uh, uh, see, if you have stable requirements, then you can plan very well and you can develop very easily, and delivery also goes smooth. That is another advantage of like your waterfall model. This is only because of stable requirements. Another advantage is like who are freshers for IT industry. For them, your waterfall model provides you very clear picture how your IT industry works. Okay, very clear picture it will provide you. That is nothing but like waterfall model. Okay, very comfortable for management. Okay, that is why. Why? Planning, staffing, and tracking. Everything will be easy in case of like stable requirements. But what is the disadvantage? If something went wrong, again you have to come up with analysis. Again you have to come up with design. Again you have to come up with development. Right? So that is the major drawback of your waterfall model. That is the case means your application go too much costly. Right? Your application go costly. Another major disadvantage is like uh, today IT industry, if you take how many applications you have stable functionality? IT industry not at all stable, right? It's always dynamic. But waterfall model you have to go for means so before starting up the project, you should have 100% clear requirements. If that is the case, how you go for like your waterfall model? So waterfall model is not best to suit today's IT industry. Okay, waterfall model is not best suit for today's IT industry, today's IT market. Okay, so that is another major drawback of waterfall model. Okay, so that is another major drawback of your waterfall model. So this is nothing but like your strengths and weaknesses of your waterfall model. And another major drawback of waterfall model is like if you go for waterfall model, how many types of releases you will come across? Any idea? I could have told like during development phase, how many types of releases? Major release and minor release. Okay, major release means every 3 months, minor release means every 1 month. So whatever the project it is, mostly you go for this though. See here, if it is like waterfall model, client when he will get a chance to use this application is like once you deliver, then only he will get a chance to use your application. Means that means like after 6 months or after 1 year or something like that. At that time, see, once you get Gmail application, you may feel like it's very simple, but you have to develop that application means until and unless you see, even though your code is perfect, sometimes you'll get so many environment issues or so many issues you'll face in real time. Really, you struggle too many issues. All those one really you see, then only you will realize, right? So client, if that is the case, means he may feel like, oh, this is very simple application, why this is taking this much time? Like that, he may get bad impression, right? So that is a major drawback of like your waterfall model. Okay, so client really will get a chance to use after 3 months or 6 months or 1 year only. But what exactly going on in your organization, he may not be aware of. He may not be aware of. That is a major drawback of like your waterfall model. Okay, so to overcome the drawback of waterfall model, V model comes into picture. Okay, our next model is like V model. So in waterfall model, once one phase finishes, then only next phase starts. But in V model, that is not the case. Okay, so both development and testing activities will be going on parallelly. Okay, here you are saying, right? So one side development activities, another side testing activities. So another important thing in your V model is like in waterfall model, what are the phases going on? Only those team members gets present. But here in V model, all team members gets present in all the phases. Okay, so that means like waterfall model, analysis is going on. Not only analysts, developers, architects, every team member gets involved. Exactly like the design is going on. Developers, business analysts, testers also gets involved. Okay, so that is a major difference between like waterfall model and V model. So in waterfall model, whatever the phase is going, only those team members gets present. But in V model, all team members gets present in all the phases. Okay, so here we see like I told like all team members gets present in all the phases. But what each and every team member will be doing, that is what we have to get to know. Means we will go for step by step. First, where it will start? Analysis phase. During analysis phase, who will involve? Who will involve during analysis phase? Business analyst. So what they do is like they will gather requirements from client and come up with two types of documents. Those are nothing but SRS and BRS. Okay, so left side, what they do is like they will be coming up with those two documents, and right side they themselves testing their requirement documents. Okay, they themselves testing their requirement documents. Means like exactly before that, one small thing is like any of the IT industry, if you go for uh, just a second. Uh, okay, so any team they have to frame, means they will follow some hierarchy, some architecture. Freshers, more number of people. Okay, entry people, so more number of people, like 5 or 6 or 10 even. You are getting experienced means you'll expect more salary. That is the reason head count decrease. Okay, software engineers, 2 or 3, senior software engineers, 1 or 2, team lead, 1, for multiple projects, 1 project manager. Like the company handles that one, not only for development or testing, whatever the team it is, company keep managing like that. So here, fresher, entry guy, facing some issue, what he will do? He himself try to resolve first. In case he is not resolving means, he will approach his colleague. They are also not resolving means, he will go for software engineer, one level upper. They are also not resolving means senior software engineer. They are also not resolving means team lead, then project manager. That is the approach people go for. So another important thing is like in your IT industry, it's like research. In your studies time, your lecturer or teacher, if you take whole their life, they will be telling us same stories again and again. But that is not the case in your IT industry. Okay, everything is new stuff, right? So that is the reason. Whatever the simple task you are performing, whatever the simple task you are performing, it needs to be reviewed by somebody else. Exactly like that. In info gathering phase, who is having less experience, like 2 years or 3 years or 5 years, those people will be gathering requirements from client. Okay, and who is having more experience, like 8 years or 10 years, another side reviewing those documents like SRS and BRS. So that is nothing but like requirement phase testing. Okay, so development team themselves, one less experience who is having, those people come up with the SRS and BRS document, who is having seen most good experience, who is having very good experience, those people go for testing those SRS or BRS. Like that it works. Okay, so that is nothing but like requirement phase testing. That is nothing but requirement phase testing. Clear? Any questions? Exactly like that. In development phase itself, developers and testers also gets involved, right? So what those people will be doing? So developers will be coming up with development plan. Okay. So development plan means like if you remember, I could have told you like during development phase, how many modules you have to come up with, each and every module, who will be working really, and how many releases they have to come up with. How many releases means what is the complexity of this application. Depends on the complexity of that application. They'll be coming up with, they'll plan number of releases. Okay. So like that, who will be doing what? Which feature? Who will be developing? Which module? Who will be taking care? That kind of development plan they will be coming up with. Exactly, testing team gets involved and they will be coming up with test plan. Developers, what they are doing? How they develop the entire application. That means how many releases they have to come up with. Accordingly, testing team what they do is like whatever the features, whatever the modules developers are developing, how to test those features, how to test those releases, how to test those modules. That is what you will be planning to come up with test. So that is nothing but like test plan. In our manual testing, you will come across like test policy, test strategy, test methodology, and test plan. At the time, I'll be explaining it very in detail. So as of now, you remember test plan means this is the stuff. Okay. So whatever the features developers are developing, how to test those features, how to test that application. For that one, you will be coming up with like test plan. Okay. So that is nothing but like test plan. Then design and development. My first question here is like why I put both design and development here itself. The fact is for most of the projects, developers themselves play architects role. Okay, so that means like who is having development role they are playing like for past 10 years or 8 years. So they could have experts, right? Okay, then they then display architects. Okay, then that is the reason I put both designing and development in one phase itself. Okay, so during design phase, architects gets involved and they'll be coming up with high level design and low level design. That is left person. That means who is having less experience. So as I said, whatever the team it is, like juniors and seniors will be there. So juniors will come up with like design document, seniors will be reviewing. So that is nothing but right side design phase testing. That is nothing but right side design phase testing. Okay, so that is nothing but like designers. So left side they'll be coming up with like architectural design. Right side who is having good experience in that field, they'll be testing design phase testing. Then as you are aware of, like developers will be coming up with their development activities. Left side they will come up with code. In your studies time you could have come across like some programming or some programs. Once you come up with your program, you yourself try to test your code, right, to make sure your code perfect or not. Exactly like that in our IT industry also, once programmers come up with their code, they themselves try to test their code. That one you can consider it as like white box testing. Okay, also you can consider like program based testing. But our next topic is like what is white box testing and what is black box testing. I'll be explaining you in detail how exactly they do and what they do. That is the portion I will be explaining you in detail like white box testing. So as of now you just remember like yeah, as your study time. Once you come up with code, you yourself try to test your code. That is what they'll be doing. That is what you just remember. Okay. So that is nothing but like developers. So developers left side they will be coming up with code. So once they come up with code, they them just try to test their code. That is nothing but like white box test. Testers also gets involved, right? So what testers will be doing? What testers will be doing is like they will be analyzing the requirements and creating test cases. Okay, so they'll be analyzing the requirements and come up with creating test cases. What is test case? I will tell you later. As of now it's a bit difficult to understand. So normally the thing is like in order to test any of the functionality, what is your primary portion as a test engineer is like you have to create test cases. Okay, so that is what I'll be telling you later. As of now you remember this is the one. Then as a tester, once you get application, once you finish creating test cases, by the time you'll be getting released from development team, you'll be testing. If you find any issues, report to development team. Developers fix those issues, send it to you. So these two cycles will be repeatedly happening until whole application gets ready. So once whole application gets ready, that means like here install build, that means during testing. Okay, so this testing and development, these two phases will be happening until entire application gets ready. Once whole application gets ready, it will go for like releasing. Okay, so during releasing what you go for like alpha testing and beta testing. Okay, so then here you are seeing like so many testing management process, acceptance testing, port testing, test software changes. All this one is little bit hard to understand as of now. So what I do is like I'll be explaining you these topics also later. Okay, so this is nothing but like your V model. Okay, so like this also you can define it like V model. Okay, so this is also you can define it as. So advantages if we go for like see, remember one thing, the advantage of V model is like both development and testing activities will be going on parallelly. So that means wherever error is occurring, there itself we can catch it up, right? So that is the major advantage of like waterfall model. But what is the disadvantage of waterfall model? Sorry, V model. That is the major strength of V model. But disadvantage is like is costly model for the companies to follow. Disadvantage is costly for companies to follow. Why? All phase team members gets involved in all the phases, right? That is company will get a chance to pay salaries to so many employees. That is a major drawback of like your V model. Except this, what are the advantages and disadvantages you will come across like for waterfall model? For V model also same. Okay, so even V model you have to go for means you should be having 100% stable requirements before starting up the project. So even if that is the case, easy to follow, maintain or planning or everything is easy, right? So that is nothing but like V model. Okay, so like waterfall model and V model, except the difference like costly and process is good, except that all strengths and weaknesses gets same. Okay. Oh, I come up with so many times. So this is nothing but like your this one I will explain later. So that is fishbone model I will explain later. So this is nothing but like your waterfall model and wave model and very high level differences. Any questions? Okay. Sorry, V model is not testing strategy. V model is one kind of model, but development and testing activities will be going on parallelly. So developers what they will be doing is like for this release, what are the development activities they are going to perform. Accordingly, testers what they do is like see developers they are going to develop some feature like composable they are developing for this month. Let us suppose how to test that composable you have to plan, right? So that means like initially you have to create test cases, then once they get deployed to your environment you have to start your testing. Who will be testing? How many days it will take for testing? Okay, what is the acceptance criteria? By considering these different factors you will come up with your test plan. That is nothing but developers one side they are talking about like how they are developing, testers what you are doing. So according to their tasks depends on their deployment schedule, you'll be coming up with your test plan. That is what you'll come up with your testing activities plan. Okay, so that means like both development and testing activities will be going on parallel. Okay, so that is nothing but V model. Okay, yeah, right. Okay, exactly, exactly. But exactly according to waterfall model or V model means new feature they have to introduce means they cannot. Okay, but you are depending on client, right? So if you say like I cannot involve, I cannot include that feature means you will get bad impression, right? So that is the reason you will get, but you will ask a few more budget. Another thing is like at the time your life gets hard. That is the major disadvantage of waterfall model. If that is important feature, let us suppose. So existing functionality you are developed 60% or 70%. At that time, trying to come up with new feature that is affecting, let us suppose, all modules of your application. Then what you have to do? Again, you have to come up with an analysis, design, development test. That is the drawback of your waterfall model and even V model. Okay, clear? Exactly. No, not only development, even analysis phase also something we are trying. There is we are catching up, right? Okay. So in V model, the impact is like wherever error is occurring, there itself we are catching. But in waterfall model, You are finding out error in testing phase only. In V model, yes, in V model, we'll be starting from scratch. But in waterfall model, testing will be happening only in testing phase. Exactly. Yeah, yeah. Okay. And that one, these two models doesn't fit today's market. Okay. Okay. Why means IT industry is not stable, right? Dynamic. That's why these models doesn't best suit. Okay. Any more questions? Okay, no questions means we'll meet tomorrow same time. Okay. Okay, that's me. Thanks for your time. Okay. See you. Fine. Bye bye. Have a good night.